Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1, we're about to uncover the mystery and magic of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1945. Now, you might be thinking, a penny? Really? But don't let its small size fool you. The Lincoln wheat penny, especially the ones minted in certain years, has become a legend among collectors. And today, we're zooming in on one special year, 1945. A time when the world was coming out of the darkness of war, and the United States was entering a new era of growth and transformation. Right in the middle of it all, a little copper coin was quietly making its way into the hands of Americans, never knowing that one day, a few of these coins would be worth an absolute fortune. Let's rewind the clock a little. The year is 1945. World War II is ending. Soldiers are returning home. The U.S. Mint is busy producing coins to meet the needs of a booming post-war economy. The Lincoln wheat penny had already been in circulation for more than 3 decades by then. Designed by Victor D. Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, this penny stood out not just because of its design, but because of what it symbolized: freedom, unity, and resilience. By 1945, the U.S. Mint was using primarily copper to strike these pennies, although during the earlier war years, they experimented with steel and other metals due to copper shortages. But in 45, the traditional copper alloy composition returned, and with it, a return to a more familiar look and feel for American coinage. The front of the coin features Lincoln's profile, calm and strong, as if watching over the nation he helped preserve. Flip it over, and you'll see 2 wheat stalks curving around the words 1 cent and United States of America, a classic and elegant design that collectors all over the world cherish. That wheat design is what gives the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. So, what makes the 1945 wheat penny stand out among the rest? After all, millions were minted, nearly 2 billion, in fact. The truth is, most 1945 pennies aren't worth much more than a few cents. But, and this is a big but, there are rare versions, error coins, and exceptionally well-preserved examples that are worth serious money. I mean life-changing money. Some of these rarities come from tiny minting mistakes, a doubled die here, a misaligned planchet there, or even pennies that were accidentally struck using the wrong metal. Combine that with perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, and you've got a coin that's no longer just money, but a priceless piece of history. And here's something most people don't realize: it's not always about a dramatic error or obvious flaw. Sometimes, it's about timing, scarcity, and condition. A 1945 wheat penny that has been flawlessly preserved, untouched by time, and graded at the highest levels by professional services can command staggering amounts at auction. These coins have caught the attention of collectors worldwide, and when the right coin meets the right buyer, well, that's when records get shattered. So, how much could one of these rare 1945 Lincoln wheat pennies actually be worth? Get ready, because this might just blow your mind. One of these incredible coins, in pristine, uncirculated condition, with a unique error and flawless features, has been valued at $118,000. Yes, you heard that right. A penny that could be sitting in an old jar or buried in a drawer somewhere could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a year's salary, and for some, more than a home. That's why it's always worth checking your change, digging through old coin collections, or visiting that box of coins you inherited from a grandparent. You never know what rare gem might be hiding in plain sight. Top 2, we're diving into a truly legendary piece of American history, a small copper coin that might be hiding in plain sight, yet could be worth a small fortune. That's right, we're talking about the 1941 D. Lincoln wheat penny. And now, don't let the ordinary look of this coin fool you. You might think it's just another penny, something you'd pass by without a second glance. But what if I told you that this seemingly simple piece of metal could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you might just be rushing to check your coin jars, your old drawers, or that box of change your grandparents left behind. Let's take a trip back in time. The year is 1941. The United States is standing on the edge of entering World War II. Tensions are high, the economy is shifting, and people across the country are trying to find a sense of normalcy in uncertain times. In the middle of all this, the U.S. Mint is producing one of its most iconic coins, the Lincoln wheat penny. This was a time when coins were more than just money. They were symbols of strength, stability, and national pride. The Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for over 3 decades, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. And even after all those years, it remained one of the most widely recognized and trusted coins in America. In 1941, the Lincoln wheat penny was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. Today, we're focusing on the one stamped with the small but mighty letter D, which stands for Denver. Now here's the thing: Denver minted over 128 million of these pennies. So why is the 1941 D wheat penny so special? What makes it rare? Why are collectors around the world hunting for it? The answer lies in the details and condition. Most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions. They were tossed in pockets, rattled in piggy banks, worn down over decades of use. Finding one today that's been kept in pristine condition, shiny, sharp, with no scratches or signs of wear, is extremely rare. But even more valuable are those few coins that left the Denver Mint with minor errors or unique variations that went unnoticed for years. We're talking about doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other minting quirks that occurred during the chaotic wartime era. These imperfections, often invisible to the average person, turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Collectors go wild for these anomalies because no two error coins are exactly the same. They are one-of-a-kind, historical artifacts disguised as everyday change. Now imagine pairing one of these rare errors with an almost perfect preservation grade, what experts call mint state. When a coin is graded in the highest possible categories by professional grading companies, its value skyrockets. Only a handful of 1941 D Lincoln wheat pennies have been found in such elite condition, and when one does surface, it causes waves in the coin collecting world. It's no surprise that passionate collectors and investors are willing to pay serious money for these rare finds. They represent more than just currency, they capture a moment in American history, a story in copper, stamped forever with the image of a president who symbolized unity in the darkest of times. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much can one of these rare 1941 D Lincoln wheat pennies be worth? Get ready for this, because one of these exceptional coins, preserved in nearly flawless condition, with all the right characteristics and a rare error, has been valued at $125,000. Yes, a single penny worth more than luxury cars, vacations around the world, or even some houses. This is why the world of coin collecting is so exciting. It reminds us that sometimes, the greatest treasures come in the smallest packages. So the next time you're sorting through old change, take a closer look. That unassuming penny might just be your golden ticket. Top 3. We've got a fascinating one for you. We're going to take a close look at a coin that millions of people might have handled without ever knowing its true value. A coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now. We're talking about none other than the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. Now, the Lincoln wheat penny is no stranger to collectors. It's one of the most iconic coins in American history, beloved not only for its design but for the story it tells about the times in which it was minted. From 1909 to 1958, the U.S. produced these beautiful pennies featuring the bust of Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back. They were more than just coins, they were symbols of American strength, unity, and resilience. But let's focus in on one very specific year, 1953. It might not sound like a groundbreaking year at first glance, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. The early 1950s were a period of post-war growth in the United States. Families were settling down, industries were booming, and Americans were filled with a new sense of optimism. The mint was operating at full capacity, producing millions of coins to keep up with economic expansion. And in 1953, Lincoln wheat pennies were struck at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But as any experienced collector will tell you, not all pennies are created equal, even if they share the same date. Some coins from 1953 were struck with minor errors. Some were created using older or worn-out dies. And others? Well, they were simply preserved better than the rest, tucked away in a drawer or a coin album for decades, never seeing the wear and tear of everyday circulation. That's where the real value begins to reveal itself. Imagine finding a 1953 penny that looks like it just rolled off the mint's press yesterday: sharp details, no scratches, no discoloration, and a perfect copper glow. That's what collectors call mint state, and these coins are graded on a scale, with the highest grades, MS65 and above, being extremely rare and highly sought after. But there's more. A handful of these 1953 pennies contain subtle minting mistakes, errors that happened during production but went unnoticed at the time. These could include a doubled die, a repunched mint mark, or even a planchet error. These small imperfections can skyrocket a coin's value because they turn a common coin into a unique collectible. After all, there might only be a few like it in existence, and now, let's talk design for a moment. The obverse side of the penny features the stoic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. It's a tribute to one of America's most respected presidents, and it's the longest-running portrait on any U.S. coin. Flip it over, and you'll find the classic wheat ears, standing tall on either side of the words 1 cent and United States of America. It's a clean, elegant design that carries deep historical meaning and nostalgic beauty. Every wheat penny is like a time capsule. And the 1953 version, with its post-war optimism, its potential for rare errors, and its increasing rarity in high-grade condition, is one of the most exciting coins you can find in your collection today. But here's the kicker: the reason this humble penny has become a legend among collectors, when you combine mint condition with a rare error and just the right historical magic, the value of a 1953 Lincoln wheat penny can soar far beyond what most people ever expect. So, just how much could one of these elusive coins be worth? Get ready, because this might shock you. A rare 1953 Lincoln wheat penny, in near-perfect uncirculated condition with a unique error, has been valued at $105,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny. 1 cent worth $105,000, and that's why collectors are always searching, always examining their change, always looking twice at those old coins. Because the next big find might not be in a museum, it could be hiding in a coin jar, a dusty attic, or even in your own pocket. So, if you're holding onto any wheat pennies from 1953, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history and a serious investment. Top 4. We're diving deep into a coin that most people have likely seen or even used without ever realizing what a treasure it could be. We're talking about the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, an American classic that's more than just a piece of copper. For a few lucky collectors, it's a coin that could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Now, before you go running to your coin jar, hang tight, because we're going to tell you exactly what makes this coin so special, what you should be looking for, and why a specific version of this humble penny has stunned the collector world with its value. Let's go back to the year 1950. The world is recovering from World War II, the Cold War is beginning to take shape, and here in the United States, a new era of industry and innovation is booming. Families are growing, cars are lining the streets, and optimism is in the air. And as the American economy blossoms, the U.S. Mint continues its mission of producing coins that not only serve daily transactions but also quietly record history in metal. That year, the Lincoln wheat penny was in full production, continuing a design that had become deeply woven into the fabric of American life. Originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the coin was the first U.S. currency to feature a real person, and who better than Lincoln himself? The front, or obverse, of the coin carries Lincoln's dignified profile, while the back, or reverse, features two stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. It's a simple but powerful design, one that millions of Americans carried in their pockets every single day. And now, the 1950 wheat penny was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. In terms of numbers, millions were produced, but as we always say in the world of coin collecting, rarity isn't just about quantity. It's about condition, quality, and those little quirks that turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary discovery. Let's talk about condition first. Most of these pennies were used in daily commerce. They were handed from customer to cashier, dropped in jars, worn down in pockets, and exposed to the elements. That's why finding one in pristine condition, what experts call mint state, is extremely rare. These are coins that somehow escaped the grind of daily life, stored away untouched, with every detail still crisp and vibrant. But condition alone isn't the whole story. Some 1950 wheat pennies come with subtle minting errors, tiny imperfections that occurred during the striking process. These could be doubled dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or even coins that were mistakenly struck on the wrong type of planchet. While these errors may seem small, they are a big deal in the world of numismatics. Because with coins, flaws often mean fortune. Collectors go wild for these unique errors, especially when they're combined with excellent condition. A coin like that becomes a one-of-a-kind piece, an unrepeatable slice of history that's as valuable for its story as it is for its rarity. So now the big question: why should you care about a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny? Because it represents the perfect storm of potential. It's a common coin from a powerful period in American history, and yet under the right circumstances, with the right combination of preservation and peculiarity, it becomes a prize unlike any other. A collector's dream, and here's the moment you've been waiting for. There exists a rare version of the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, flawless in condition and featuring a unique minting error that has been valued at an astonishing $115,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. Worth $115,000. So the next time you're sifting through old coins, whether they're tucked in a drawer, hidden in a shoebox, or passed down from a grandparent, take a moment. Look closely. That unassuming copper coin could be more than just change, it could be a key to your very own treasure. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more incredible tales of rare coins and their hidden values, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next exciting episode. Top 5. We're about to uncover the secret of a small copper coin that might look completely ordinary at first glance, but could actually be worth a fortune. That's right, today we're talking about a coin that's been quietly gaining attention in the collector world, the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. Now, this coin is one that millions of people have held in their hands. It's likely been dropped in countless vending machines, sat in thousands of pockets, and disappeared into piggy banks across the country. But as we've learned again and again in the world of numismatics, sometimes, it's not about how common a coin seems. It's about the details, those subtle differences that make one coin stand out from the rest, and skyrocket in value. So let's step back in time and set the stage. It's 1954. America is in the middle of the post-war boom. Suburbs are expanding, cars are getting bigger, television is becoming a household staple, and the economy is thriving. It's a time of optimism and innovation, and the U.S. Mint is busy keeping up with the growing nation's need for currency. That year, 3 mint facilities struck the Lincoln wheat penny: Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. The one we're focusing on today is the version stamped with a small d under the date, meaning it was minted in Denver. And now, at first glance, the 1954 penny looks like any other from the Lincoln wheat series. On the obverse, you have the familiar face of President Abraham Lincoln, strong, steady, and iconic. On the reverse, the classic wheat years stretch up along both sides of the words 1 cent and United States of America. Simple, timeless, and deeply American, but here's the twist. While over 250 million of these pennies were minted in Denver that year, only a handful remain in pristine, untouched, mint condition. And even fewer have the rare minting errors that collectors dream of finding. You see, not all coins leave the mint looking perfect. Some are struck with doubled dies, where the image appears to be slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Others may show repunched mint marks, off-center designs, or planchet errors where the metal itself was flawed. These minting mistakes, which most people would never notice, can turn a 1-cent coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Combine that with a coin that's been preserved perfectly for nearly 70 years, sharp edges, full luster, and not a scratch in sight, and you're looking at something truly special. These high-grade examples are few and far between, and that's what makes them incredibly valuable. In fact, some of these rare 1954 wheat pennies have surfaced at major coin auctions, causing waves in the collector community. Collectors aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a moment in history, a piece of the past frozen in copper, a rare artifact that survived decades of circulation untouched. So the next time you come across a jar of old coins or stumble upon a forgotten box in your attic, don't dismiss those old pennies too quickly. Because tucked inside that pile might be a small, round treasure that could change your life. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, there exists a rare version of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, flawless in its condition, paired with a striking mint error that has been valued at $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, worth $100,000. So don't underestimate what's hiding in plain sight. These little coins have big stories to tell, and sometimes, they carry more value than you could ever imagine. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in your own collection, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss an episode. We're just getting started on this journey through history, metal, and mystery. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep collecting, keep exploring, and keep your eyes on the pennies. You never know what treasure might be right in front of you.